which helped Widnes win a game when they couldn't buy a win. It might have been against the Lee Centurions, maybe, right. But yeah.
Sure, one of our Lee fans, one of our Widnes fans will let us know. Staying with Widnes, Vikings prop Alex Gerrard has signed a 1-year extension to remain with the club until 2018. The 25-year-old graduated from the Vikings Academy and made his professional debut in 2010. So Stevie G keeping his missus on Cheshire.
Yeah, Mrs. Stevie G is, I think she's a vastly underrated prop forward, to be honest.
She used to get in touch with us quite a lot and ask for her stats, do you remember?
Yeah, she was, yeah. Maybe then she listened and heard that we referred to her as Stevie G. No, but in all seriousness, Gerrard, he was touted as there was talk of Wigan being interested in him. Maybe it was agent talk, but he's only managed to tie up a 1-year deal, so maybe it was just all total fan forum talk. But he'd do a serviceable job for any squad in Super League and if you can keep him fit.
Yeah, he's a tackling machine, isn't he, when you keep him fit?
He works really hard, he makes very few mistakes, and so I think it's a good deal for them to tie someone up. And now, next on the agenda, they need to sort out Hep Cahill, don't they?
Oh, big time. Okay, moving away from Cheshire and into West Yorkshire, halfback Jordan Lilly has signed a new 3-year contract with boyhood club Leeds Rhinos that expires at the end of the 2020 Super League season. Lilly is 20 and made his first grade breakthrough at Headingley in 2015. Was a regular last season with 3 tries in 24 appearances.
I feel like we had this story last year. I feel like he signed a new deal then, but he must not have done, obviously.
No, perhaps not.
Look, he's showing great promise, isn't he?
He has. And do you know what? He's taken the indignity, some might say, of going out on loan to a lower league side with real dignity, and has produced and performed. I don't think anybody around Otsel could criticise the contributions of Jordan Lilly. He's a very gifted young man and has an old head on young shoulders. Particularly when you hear him talking post-game interviews, he has one of the oldest fashioned Yorkshire accents I think I've ever heard. When anyone who brings out the sen in an interview is all right by me. But good luck to the kid, because whilst he may not be coming back to Bradford Bulls this season, one Leeds player is, and that's Bulls have signed Leeds Rhinos halfback Corey Aston on an initial 1-month loan deal. The former Sheffield Eagles playmaker was granted a release from his loan spell at Fev Rovers to join the Bulls.
Very strange for me why he's no longer at Featherstone. What's happened there?
I'm not sure.
Wasn't he playing most weeks for Featherstone?
I feel like he was.
Wasn't he a crucial part in their promotion push? Now that they've sealed the middle eight, so they're just thinking that's as far as we can go, and that's probably realistic.
Yeah.
But still, it seems like there'll be a step further back from any sort of realistic middle eight chances.
Unless the broader theory from Leeds Rhinos is, Brian McDermott was very quick to praise the work that Jeff Tuvey had done with Jordan Lilly. Maybe he wants to see the same for young Corey Aston. I don't know. Possibly not. We'll see.
Fair enough.
Or it could just be, McDermott likes the Bulls. We might want to help us out a little bit. Barry Everington's got a bit of a soft spot for us, but at the end of the day, they'll only do things that benefit Leeds Rhinos overall, won't they? So they obviously feel that a more full-time environment at Bradford and a different environment in terms of lads to play with might do Corey Aston the world of good, and he's vastly experienced at that level. He's not shy of being in the Championship either, is he? So fair play.
It's just a weird one with the relationship they've had with Featherstone, with letting all their players train with them and then pretending that they weren't their players and all this malarkey.
No, they're just here, they're just visiting. So anyway, we'll see how he does. But we weren't great at the weekend, but I believe Corey Aston and one of our other new signings, who no one has corrected me on, Sirenen, as
Sironen
or Sirenen, but both did fairly well. Halifax this week have completed the signing of Wakefield Trinity hooker Mickey Seo. The Samoan international has joined the club on an initial month-long loan. Good signing for Fax, that.
Yeah, his chances have been limited with the step up in performances of Kyle Wood, who's now been able to progress as the mainstay hooker and sometimes, an 80-minute player at times now, which is a move forward. It seems strange though that he's fallen so far out of favour so quickly that he's out on loan, but there you go.
You know what's going on behind.
Good for Fax.
Closed doors, yeah, absolutely, very good for Fax. And finally, Lee Centurions owner Derek Beaumont has been fined £2,000 and warned about his future conduct following comments he made after the Betfred Super League Round 16 game against Castleford Tigers. Beaumont was found to have breached RFL Operational Rule D11, which I'm sure you're all familiar with. D1.1b, improper conduct, engages in conduct which is prejudicial to the interests of the game or which is improper, and operational rule C2.12, criticism of official, make any public statement written which contains criticism of the character of a match official or criticism of the manner in which the match official had officiated at a match, and operational rule C2.10, behaviour standards, no director of a club or other senior personnel shall act in a manner unbefitting of the position which they hold. It's as familiar to you as it is to me, Mark, I'm certain. But yeah, there you go, he's been fine. Caveat to this story, I do like a good Beaumont bash, and I'm always keen to do it. However, I believe some of the Leeds Centurions fans set up a Just Giving page to pay his fine for him, and upon learning about that, Derek Beaumont agreed to, first of all, let them pay his fine, but then match and double whatever they raised to donate to the family of the...
Adam
Cooper, who passed away playing for Colchester.
Yeah.
So, sunrise, sunset, pretty tricky to bash Derek Beaumont too much in terms of that. No matter what I think about his comments on referees, he's kind of taking the wind out of my sails with a very honourable and kind-hearted gesture. So I play Derek Beaumont.
I mean, I wouldn't be letting fans pay my fine for him. I would be saying, no, I'll do this and that.
Well, yeah, but he's not... Look, listen, he sells sun decking. He's not fucking putting people in space. All right, he's got a certain amount of acumen. I'm not crediting him.
He's putting people in Spain.
He's putting people in Spain is what he's doing, exactly. I'm not crediting him. He's obviously got a certain amount of nous, but I'm not saying he's a scholar of the highest order. So, look, his art's in the right place.
Yeah,
and I, for one, applaud it and think it's a tremendous gesture, regardless of what I may have said about him in the past. That these actions,
will say about him,
and will no doubt say about him in the future. These actions go to show that we are more than just black and white as people. We are shades of grey. Although in his case, I sincerely hope not 50 of them. Right, that's the news from around the world of rugby league. Let's take a look back now at round 21 of Super League. Okay, round 21 of Super League will start on Thursday night, where it finished Wakefield 24, Castleford 25 in front of 6,430 down at Bellevue, refereed by Chris Kendall.
Yeah, and we start with the Hodge. He said, now then, lads, if I hadn't have seen this myself and was given a match report by a dog, I'd say, I don't believe it, you're making it up, you bitch.
There you go. Wakey White said, I'm not even mad, what a great game of rugby league. Proper full-blooded derby that was, in the balance until the final minute. Fair play to Cass, they played well in the second half to rescue the game when up against it, but every Wakefield player can hold their head high and say they put in a shift. First time I've left a derby defeat feeling good in a while.
Fat Boy Rob said, now that's the Cass I know and love. Forget about all this 10 try bollocks. The last minute drop goal is what rugby league is all about. We were dire in the first half. Wakey played it off the park, but the fact that we were only 16-0 down meant I was still confident, and the champions didn't disappoint with a stunning comeback.
This is going to bite him on the arse.
Even when
I love it.
Even when Fangita went over, the result was never in doubt. Cometh the hour, cometh the man.
There you go. Tyler Cass fan said, Wakefield will feel hard done by there, and they probably deserve something from that game. But Cass keep answering all the questions asked of them. The games are getting tighter every week, and we just need to hold our nerve. For Wakey, the top four is within their grasp if they keep believing in each other.
And then Brian Davies, we finish on a Wakefield fan. He said, really enjoyed this one. Midweek rugby after work in the sun with a big crowd on. Great atmosphere and good effort from both sides. Cass showed their class and composure to win it at the end. Wakey made silly mistakes that the best teams don't. Good to see David Fafita back. He's become a real hero of the Trim fans as he plays with such enthusiasm.
He does play with a tremendous amount of enthusiasm, but there was a bit of early doors celebrating and goading that came back to bite him on the backside in this one as well, wasn't there, Mark?
Well, he was having a laugh, weren't he? Yeah. I don't think he was...
No, he's a character. Yeah. I don't think he was genuinely like...
I certainly wouldn't want to knock that out of his game, and I wouldn't want him to stop that sort of stuff, because it was in reasonably good taste and just a fun bit of back and forth with the fans.
That's it. Another try for my call for the record breaker Greg Eden, inching ever closer. to Dennis Solomona's record for Castleford Tigers.
He had one ruled out as well, didn't he? Otherwise, it could have been
a bit more.
Another big night, yeah. And Mike McMinican, of course.
Mike McMinican and Greg Meakin
got involved. I'm trying to remember everything other than the Luke Gale field goal. Didn't have a obstruction call on it on Fafita from Bright Eyes?
Yes.
And it was pretty blatant, but what the guys have said there covers what I remember of the game, which is Wakefield were really, really good in the first half. They weren't making any mistakes. Yes, they didn't put up tons and tons of points, only 16-0 they turned it around at, but they were by far the best team. They were winning territory, winning contact, not making the mistakes. The Kyle Wood try was something that I don't feel like you necessarily see from Cass this year. The Ben Jones Bishop was a intercept, weren't it?
Yeah.
But great sort of interplay by, was it Hadley who got the ball first and got it out to him, and he basically ran off the rest of the field. But they only scored those 2 tries, and so I think that was probably the problem, because Cass did what they've done so much this year, and it was a couple of errors to start the second half that weren't being made in the first half, and in good position as well to maybe build the pressure again and keep that kind of momentum and energy going that they had going in the first half back for Wakefield, and they just couldn't do it because we've seen so frequently their front rowers start to make silly mistakes, haven't we? Maybe not Hubie and Fafita, but the other lads we've seen make silly mistakes, and top of the list for that is Keegan Hurst, isn't he? They had a massive bench and they just weren't able to get the role going in the second half because they were making mistakes.
You see Keegan Hurst on first dates?
I did, yeah.
Alright, fair enough.
A while ago.
Yeah. He made a better job of handling the bread roll than he did of handling the rugby ball, didn't he? So, I didn't realise it was from a while ago. I just saw it on Facebook the other day and thought, oh, look, Keegan Hurst's on first dates.
Yeah, it was last year sometime.
Was it really?
Or maybe much earlier this year.
I wonder why I've not heard much fuss about being made.
He didn't seem very comfortable. Like,
well, no. I'd be uncomfortable.
I would too, yeah.
I'd be wildly uncomfortable.
I don't think the person was a match for him. I don't think it would have worked.
No, you were too good for him, Keegan.
Yeah, certainly, yeah. Anyway.
So getting back to, the fact that he's got dicks for fingers is him. And we talked about Anthony England as well last week, who went on his day, can be almost unplayable. He's another one of those more culpable prop forwards for Wakefield from time to time, isn't he?
Yeah, certainly. And then you've got people that made these mistakes, and Cass did what they did. They scored 3 tries in 12-13 minutes. Well worked tries, made things happen for themselves, and they were going at a pace that Wakefield couldn't control. As soon as they found an in, they were so fast and powerful and making all the meters that they weren't able to make early doors. And it just, like Rob said, it didn't feel like Wakefield were ever going to be able to secure a win. They were never going to be able to keep Cass out enough times once they'd got to that level pegging scoreline. And obviously not a lot has been made of that drop goal. I think it still would have been probably scored even if Fafita had a clean go at it. But imagine if Wigan had scored that drop goal. Imagine the fallout.
We'd have been hearing about him. That's because everybody hates you and they're all biased against you.
Yeah, but we're biased against everyone else, so it's okay. It balances out.
It does.
But well done to them for coming back. It wasn't a vintage, but it was.
But this is the good thing. This is the good thing, because we're going to talk about other teams that have been flying high in the league this week and their performances that would say to you, well, this is indicative of teams that can't win the big games. They are therefore probably not going to go on and win silverware. Actually, Castleford are winning difficult games and winning tough, and I think, to be honest with you, Darren Powell will be quite pleased in some respects that they've been winning tough over the last few weeks, because it starts to prepare them for the higher level of competition that they're going to face in the Super 8s, and then more than likely the higher end of competition they're going to face in the semi-finals. It galvanises them and strengthens them, I think, if they can take the positives out of it and start to drop in a few more, inverted commas, vintage Cass displays in there. then this is good muscle memory for this squad of players, I think.
Yeah, and didn't they have to cope with outlawing Patrick for much of this game? He picked up an injury in his first stint. And
yeah, it didn't stop his drinking arm around Bradford on Sunday afternoon, though.
Oh, is that so? And Adam Milner as well picked up an injury, didn't he? So I feel like they did it tough a little bit there. And what they are getting is different players in that forward pack stepping up each week. Last week it was Gadwin Springer who made a big impression and was a big force in the game. This week it was Nathan Massey who was sort of...
Big fans of Nathan Massey, aren't we?
Well, his tattoos I'm not on board with, but that's personal choice, I suppose.